The boots stayed in the ring. The tears fell like rain. And behind that curtain, in the shadowed hallways of the Capital One Arena, something happened that nobody expected. 30 to 40 wrestlers, legends, staff members, they lined up. They waited. And when John Cena walked through that curtain for the last time as an active competitor, what unfolded was so raw, so emotional, that even the toughest veterans in this business couldn't hold it together. This is what really went down after Cena's retirement match at Saturday night's main event, and trust me, you're gonna want to hear every single word of this. Before we dive into the most emotional night in recent WWE history, if you're a part of the wrestling family, if you grew up watching John Cena fight through impossible odds, if you ever believed in never giving up, then I need you to do something for me. Hit that subscribe button right now. Become a part of the SLAMZONE family because we're covering every moment, every story, every legend that makes this business we love so beautiful and so heartbreaking. And smash that like button because John Cena deserves it. This man gave us everything. The very least we can do is show some love. Drop a comment down below telling me your favorite Cena memory because I promise you, by the end of this video, you're gonna feel something deep in your chest. Now let's get into it. December 13th, 2025. Washington, D.C. The Capital One Arena is absolutely electric, packed to the rafters with fans who know they're about to witness history. This isn't just another wrestling show. This is the end of an era. This is the final chapter of a story that started way back in 2002 when a kid with a dream walked into WWE and became something none of us could have ever predicted. The greatest of all time? Some would argue it. A legend? Without question. But more than that, John Cena became hope. He became perseverance. He became the living, breathing embodiment of never giving up, and tonight, that all comes to an end. The card is stacked. You've got incredible matchups throughout the night. Bayley taking on Sol Ruca. Cody Rhodes defending against the rising monster Obafemi. The tag titles on the line. But everybody knows what this night is really about. It's about one man. It's about one match. John Cena versus Gunther. The ring general. The man who won the last time is now tournament. The man who earned the right to be John Cena's final opponent. And here's the thing that's making this whole situation even more intense. Gunther made it very clear what his intention was. He didn't just want to beat John Cena. He wanted to make him tap out. Think about that for a second. John Cena, the man who built an entire legacy on the words, never give up, facing a competitor who wants to force him to give up in his final match. The irony is beautiful. The pressure is suffocating. And the stakes? They couldn't be higher. The entire night has this weight hanging over it. Every match feels heavier because you know what's coming. You can feel it in the arena. The fans are trying to enjoy the show, but there's this collective anxiety building. Backstage, legends are arriving. Kurt Angle is there, the man who helped launch Cena's career all those years ago. Mark Henry, who pulled off one of the greatest fake retirements in history against Cena. Kevin Owens. Rob Van Dam. WWE Hall of Famers Michelle McCool, Booker T, Trish Stratus. These aren't just random appearances. These are people whose careers intersected with John Cena's in meaningful ways. These are people who want to be there to witness the end. And then there are the tributes. Oh man, the tributes. In the days leading up to Saturday night's main event, WWE released this video package that absolutely destroyed people emotionally. It's set to sweet disposition by the temper trap, and it features virtually every major name in WWE holding up signs, sending their messages to John Cena. Roman Reigns appears, and you gotta understand how rare this is because Roman never breaks character. He salutes the camera, holding a white paper that says thank you, John. Brock Lesnar, another guy who almost never does this kind of thing, is sitting in a chair backstage holding a sign that says I can see you, a reference to Cena's own catchphrase. Triple H is there. Stephanie McMahon. CM Punk. Cody Rhodes. Becky Lynch. Charlotte Flair. Logan Paul. Drew McIntyre has this running gag where he keeps refusing to participate before finally giving in. The entire locker room, past and present, coming together to honor one man. John Cena responds on social media, and his message is simple but powerful. He says, "No one does it alone. Thank you to all I've ever had the chance to share canvas with, discuss the business, learn from, and all those who behind the scenes make what we do special. Saturday is for all of us. Let's go to work. One last time. One last time." Those words hit different when you really think about them. One last entrance. One last time hearing that music hit. One last time seeing the horts and the armbands. One last time watching him sprint down that ramp. One last chance to chant along with him. One last opportunity to see the man who defined WWE for over 2 decades do what he does best. The night progresses. Match after match unfolds, and the energy in the building continues to build. Then, finally, it's time. The main event. The final match. Gunther's music hits first, and the boos rain down on the ring general. This man is absolutely incredible in the ring, one of the best workers in the world right now, but tonight? Tonight he's the villain. Tonight he's the man standing between John Cena and a storybook ending. The crowd is letting him know exactly how they feel, and Gunther? He absorbs it all. He stands in that ring with absolute confidence, knowing what he's about to do. And then it happens. The music hits. That familiar horn section blares through the speakers, and the Capital One Arena absolutely erupts. 20,000 people on their feet. Grown adults crying. Children screaming. This is it. John Cena walks out for the final time, and you can see it on his face. The emotion, the weight of the moment. He's taking it all in. Every single second, every chant, every camera flash, every tear-stained face in that crowd. He knows he'll never feel this again. The entrance takes longer than usual. Cena's not rushing. He's walking slowly, deliberately, touching hands with fans at ringside. He's looking around the arena, burning this memory into his brain. When he finally gets into that ring, the referee tries to start the match, but the crowd won't stop chanting. "Thank you, Cena," echoes through the building, wave after wave of appreciation and love washing over a man who gave everything to this business. The bell rings. "Alright, family, I need you to do something for me right now." If you're feeling this emotion, if you're remembering your own moments with John Cena, hit that like button. Share this video with someone who grew up watching Cena. Tag someone who needs to hear this story. And if you haven't subscribed to SLAMZONE yet, what are you waiting for? We're building something special here, a community of real wrestling fans who appreciate the stories, the emotion, the legacy of this business. Join us. Be a part of this family. The match itself is exactly what you'd expect from two world-class performers. Gunther is methodical, brutal, calculated. Every chop echoes through the arena like a gunshot. Every strike looks like it's taking years off of Cena's life. But John's fighting with everything he has left. He's digging deep, pulling out all the classics. The shoulder tackles, the spinning powerbomb, the five-knuckle shuffle, the attitude adjustment. The crowd is losing their minds with every signature move, popping for sequences they've seen 1,000 times but somehow feel brand new tonight. Near falls. So many near falls. Every time Cena kicks out, the crowd believes maybe, just maybe, he can pull off one more miracle. That's the magic of John Cena, isn't it? Even when logic tells you the outcome is predetermined, even when you know how this has to end, you still believe. You still hope. That's the power of a truly great performer. Gunther is relentless. The chops keep coming. The European uppercuts are devastating. At one point, Cena hits an attitude adjustment that sends Gunther crashing through the announce table, and for just a moment, it feels like maybe Cena's going to defy the odds one more time. But Gunther gets back up. He always gets back up. And he locks in that sleeper hold. Cena fights it. Oh man, does he fight it? He's clawing, scratching, trying everything to escape. The crowd is on their feet, willing him to break free. "Let's go, Cena," chants are deafening. But Gunther's got it locked in tight. Deeper and deeper. Cena's movements start to slow. His face turns red. And then something happens that nobody expected. A smile crosses John Cena's face. In that moment, you can see the acceptance. The peace. This is it. This is how the story ends. And you know what? It's okay. Cena taps out. For the first time since 2005, since he became the never-give-up guy, John Cena submits. The bell rings. Gunther's music hits. And the crowd? They're stunned. Some are booing. Some are crying. Some are just sitting in shocked silence trying to process what they just witnessed. Here's what makes this ending so powerful though. It's real. It's human. Sometimes, even the greatest heroes have to accept when it's time. Sometimes, never giving up means knowing when to let go. John Cena, in his final match, showed more courage in the tap-out than in any of his victories, because he put someone else over. He elevated Gunther. He passed the torch not by winning, but by losing with dignity and grace. But the match? That's just the beginning of the story. What happens next is where things get really emotional. The entire WWE locker room starts filing out from backstage. Every single wrestler on the roster makes their way down that ramp and surrounds the ring. They're forming a circle of respect around John Cena. These are the people he's mentored, the people he's worked with, the people he's inspired. And they're here to say thank you. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes step into the ring. These are the current champions, the faces of WWE in 2025, and they bring their titles with them. They hand both championships to John Cena, letting him hold them high one final time. The symbolism is beautiful. Cena isn't WWE champion. He's not a title holder anymore. But for just a moment, he gets to feel that weight again. He gets to hear that roar from the crowd. And then he hands them back, because those belts belong to the future now. The video package plays. It's a montage of Cena's career. His debut. His first championship. The feuds with Edge, with Randy Orton, with CM Punk, with The Rock, with Roman Reigns. The 17 world title reigns. The record-breaking Make-A-Wish appearances. The movies. The charity work. The moments that defined a generation. And standing in that ring, surrounded by his peers, John Cena watches it all unfold. He's visibly emotional. Tears are streaming down his face. This is his life flashing before his eyes, and 20,000 people are witnessing it with him. Then Cena does something that breaks everyone's heart. He takes off his armbands. He unlaces his sneakers. And he leaves them in the center of the ring. It's symbolic, this gesture. These are the tools of his trade. The uniform he wore into battle for 23 years. And he's leaving them behind because he doesn't need them anymore. The journey is complete. Cena looks directly into the camera. His voice is shaking, but his words are clear. It's been a pleasure serving you all these years. Thank you. He salutes. And he walks up that ramp for the final time as an active WWE competitor. The crowd is chanting his name. "Thank you Cena" reverberates through the building. Some fans are filming on their phones, desperate to capture this moment. Others are just watching, tears in their eyes, trying to commit this to memory, because they know they'll never see anything like this again. But here's the part that most people don't know about. Here's what happened when John Cena walked through that curtain and disappeared from the view of the cameras. According to Mark Henry, who was backstage that night, the scene was unlike anything he'd seen in his decades in the business. 30 to 40 people were lined up. Not just wrestlers, production staff, referees, camera operators, people who'd worked with Cena for years, some for their entire WWE careers. Everyone wanted a moment with him. Everyone needed to say their personal goodbye. Mark Henry described the atmosphere as incredibly emotional. People were crying, hugging, sharing memories. This wasn't a scripted moment for television. This was real. This was the wrestling family coming together to honor one of their own. And in that moment, away from the lights and the cameras, you saw the real impact John Cena had on the people behind the scenes. The people who don't get the spotlight but make this business function. Imagine being in that hallway. You just put your body through hell in your final match. You're exhausted, physically and emotionally drained. You just left your boots in the ring, symbolically ending the most significant chapter of your life. And instead of being able to decompress, instead of having a quiet moment to yourself, you're immediately surrounded by dozens of people who want to thank you, who need to express what you meant to them. But John Cena? He stayed. He talked to everyone. He hugged everyone. He gave every single person in that line the time and attention they deserved. Because that's who John Cena is. That's who he's always been. Even in his final moments as an active competitor, he's putting other people first. He's making sure everyone else feels valued and appreciated. Think about the careers that were in that hallway. Superstars who grew up watching John Cena and dreamed of one day sharing a ring with him. Veterans who worked with him during his rise to superstardom. Young talent who he mentored and guided. Each one of them had their own personal relationship with Cena, their own memories, their own gratitude to express. Reports suggest that Roman Reigns was one of the people backstage, though it's unclear if he was part of that lineup or if he had a private moment with Cena. The two men have incredible history together. Some of the biggest matches in WWE history featured Cena versus Reigns. Their rivalry helped define both men's legacies. Roman, who rarely breaks character and almost never shows that kind of vulnerability, sent that tribute video before the show. But being there in person, potentially having that face-to-face moment with Cena after his final match? That's something different entirely. That's two legends acknowledging what they meant to each other's careers. The emotional toll of that night extended beyond just John Cena. Backstage, you had veterans like Kurt Angle and Mark Henry who'd been through their own retirements, their own final matches, reliving those emotions while watching Cena go through it. You had current stars like Cody Rhodes and CM Punk who understand the weight of carrying WWE on your shoulders, recognizing that Cena did it longer and at a higher level than almost anyone. You had the next generation, people like Obafemi and Sol Ruca, who got to perform on the same card as John Cena's final match, understanding the significance of that opportunity. And here's something that really hit people backstage, the genuine uncertainty about how to feel about the finish. WWE management was apparently blindsided by the negative reaction from some fans about Cena tapping out. There was no discussion beforehand about potential backlash. They believed the story they were telling, the idea of Cena passing the torch by putting Gunther over in his final match, would be universally understood and appreciated. But when those boos started, when the explicit chants directed at Triple H began, there was this moment of, oh, maybe we misjudged this. Triple H himself addressed the crowd after the show went off the air, defending the decision and explaining the thought process. But backstage, emotions were mixed. Some people thought the ending was perfect, a selfless final act from a man who always put the business first. Others felt Cena deserved to go out on his back with a pinfall, not tapping out, given his never give up character. That debate was happening in real time as Cena made his way through that gauntlet of well-wishers. What's remarkable is that Cena, despite whatever his personal feelings might have been about the finish, never showed anything but professionalism and grace. He defended the decision. He put Gunther over in post-match interviews. He made sure everyone understood that this was his choice, his way of elevating the next generation one final time. That's leadership. That's what a locker room leader does even on his way out the door. The backstage celebration, if you can even call it that, lasted for hours. People didn't want to leave. Nobody wanted the night to end because that would make it real. That would mean John Cena was actually retired. So they stayed. They shared stories. They laughed. They cried. They relived 2 decades of memories in that arena. Some of the stories shared that night will never make it to television. Personal moments between Cena and his colleagues. Times he helped someone through a difficult period. Advice he gave that changed someone's career trajectory. Pranks he pulled. Intense matches that pushed both performers to their limits. The inside jokes and the serious conversations and everything in between that happens when you spend that much time with people in this crazy, demanding, beautiful business. By all accounts, John Cena handled the entire evening with the same class and dignity he's shown throughout his career. No ego. No demands for special treatment. No drama. Just a man grateful for the opportunity he'd been given and respectful of everyone who'd been part of his journey. The wrestling world has been processing this retirement ever since. Social media exploded with tributes. Fans shared their favorite Cena moments. Critics who'd spent years complaining about his booking and his spot at the top of the card found themselves getting emotional, recognizing that whatever their opinions about his work might have been, John Cena represented something important in wrestling history. WWE moved Cena to the alumni section on their website the very next day. That's how quickly things change in this business. One day you're the main event. The next day you're part of history. It's jarring. It's sad. But it's also the natural order of things. Everyone's time comes eventually. Even legends have to step aside and let the next generation have their moment. What John Cena's retirement really represents is the closing of a chapter in WWE history. He was the last true full-time megastar from the Ruthless Aggression era. The Rock left for Hollywood years ago. Stone Cold's been retired for over 2 decades. The era of John Cena, of brightly colored merchandise and 5 moves of doom and "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" dueling chants, that's over now. We're in a different time. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and now Gunther, they're carrying the company forward. But they're doing it on a foundation that John Cena helped build. The impact Cena had extends far beyond wrestling. His Make-A-Wish work, over 650 wishes granted, the most of any individual in the organization's history. Think about that. 650 children, facing the worst circumstances imaginable, got to meet their hero, got to feel special, got to have a moment of joy and normalcy in lives filled with pain and uncertainty. That's John Cena's real legacy. Not the title reigns, not the WrestleMania main events, the lives he touched, the hope he gave people when they needed it most. That's why that hallway was packed with people waiting to say goodbye, because John Cena made everyone around him better. He elevated his opponents. He mentored younger talent. He showed up every single day ready to work. He never phoned it in. He never took his position for granted. And people remember that. People appreciate that. So here's where we are now. John Cena is retired. His boots are in that ring at the Capital One Arena, likely to be preserved and displayed somewhere as a piece of WWE history. His armbands are there too. The physical tools of his trade left behind. But the legacy? The impact? The memories? Those aren't going anywhere. Wrestling will move on. It always does. There will be new stars, new storylines, new era-defining moments. But for those of us who grew up with John Cena, who believed in never giving up because he showed us how, Saturday night's main event on December 13, 2025, will always be special. It will always hurt a little bit. And it will always remind us why we fell in love with this crazy business in the first place. Before we close this out, I need you to do one more thing for me, SLAMZONE family. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're going to keep covering these stories, these moments that matter, these legends and their journeys. Turn on that notification bell so you never miss a breakdown. And please, drop a comment below. Tell me your favorite John Cena memory. Tell me how you felt watching his final match. Tell me what he meant to you. Because that's what this is all about. Community. Shared experiences. Remembering together. The scene in that hallway, those 30 to 40 people waiting to say their goodbyes, that image is going to stick with me for a long time. It's the perfect encapsulation of what John Cena represented in this business. It wasn't just about the character we saw on television. It was about the man behind it. The person who treated everyone with respect. The leader who set an example. The professional who never complained and always delivered. John Cena gave us everything he had. For 23 years, he performed at the highest level. He carried WWE through some of its most challenging periods. He transcended wrestling and became a mainstream star without ever forgetting where he came from. And when it was time to go, he did it the right way. No drama. No controversy. Just gratitude and grace. That final image of him walking up the ramp, the crowd chanting his name, his peers surrounding the ring in respect, that's how legends should exit. That's how you honor a career of that magnitude. And what happened backstage, that outpouring of love and appreciation from the people who knew him best, that's the real story. That's what tells you everything you need to know about the impact John Cena had on professional wrestling. The boots stayed in the ring. The legend walked out that door. But the legacy? That's going to live forever. John Cena changed this business. He changed lives. And based on what happened in that hallway after his final match, based on the emotion and gratitude from everyone who waited to say goodbye, he did it the right way. Thank you, John Cena. For everything. For the matches. For the moments. For never giving up, even when things got tough. For showing us what it means to be a champion, in the ring and out of it. For leaving those boots in the ring but taking the respect and admiration of everyone in this industry with you. This is SLAMZONE, and we just witnessed the end of an era. Make sure you're subscribed, make sure you're part of this family, because the stories keep coming and we'll be here to break them all down. Drop that comment, hit that like button, and share this with someone who needs to remember why John Cena mattered. Never give up. That was his message to us. And even though he's retired now, even though we won't see him in that ring anymore, that message lives on. In every kid who gets inspired to pursue their dreams. In every person who faces adversity and decides to keep fighting. In every fan who learned what perseverance looks like. The match is over. The career is finished. But the impact? That's eternal. Thank you for watching. Until next time, SLAMZONE family. Stay passionate, stay loyal, and never, ever give up.